special event alert.
Get out of your car and run!
No.
It's the Late for Changeover show. I'm your host, Marty Smith, and I'm joined by Mr. History, Eric Perrott.
What's going on, guys?
And our man in the closet, Jake Wall.
Hey, what's going on?
And we're here to bring you the latest headlines and updates pertinent to all Guardians and to all the lesser services as well. So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh as we present Late for Changeover. Gentlemen, we are joined today by retired Air Force Sergeant and fellow Legacy Guardian, Kevin Balcom.
There it is.
Are you shooting yourself in the? Are you shooting yourself over Kevin? Over Teapot?
No.
Over the Legacy Guardian, he's gagging himself.
I know.
You love my space.
Hey, I'm not considered an official Legacy Guardian until I get like a pin or something like that in the mail.
Well, you know, you should go. Why don't you go do
I want
that
Air
for
Force, like a G or something.
I think Marty should
under
buy
the Sphinx.
shirts.
So
The original Guardian.
What
under
was
the
that? Was
Sphinx.
that where did that come from? We did that story, right? But where did it come from that said if you've done so much space, because this is again Space Force trying to build legacy. Teapot, you might not even know this, but you can apply using your DD Form 214 to be a Legacy Guardian.
Uh-huh.
And you know it, and you know what you get for that?
Wow.
You get nothing.
Wow.
I'm telling you, if they had the freaking Sphinx or the Delta V or whatever it is, and had an OG underneath it, I'd be doing it. I did.
Yeah.
Original Guardian, man. OG.
If you want to do it, get a tattoo on your head.
I like
man.
that. Maybe we
I
should
like
make,
it, Jake. I
Right.
like
maybe
it.
we should make
Yeah.
some
OG.
shirts up. Original Guardian. I like it.
I will laugh at you guys every day.
And so for those watching, this is our new space show. All right. So everybody, whoops.
Oh.
I didn't.
Oh.
Big shit.
Everybody's been
Yeah.
late for changeover, right? And I've got my GPS mug, my 19 stops GPS mug.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, next
We're
time,
back in space.
next time I'll have a Sibbers mug. So
I joined the Aurora Borealis just for tonight.
Yeah, that's nice. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for your thing. Now,
For
I
your
thought-
thing. Thanks for
Your
stuff.
thing.
For effort.
All right, so for where this podcast is going, not that we need a detailed biography, but I have the last 10 years I did in the Air Force, I did in space. I did space missile warning, then GPS, then counter space. All right. And I am considered a Legacy Guardian, even though I haven't applied and got the pin. Keep going. Jake, tell the
I
Space
want that
Force
pin.
page what you've done.
Yeah, I joined Marty and Teapot at
That's right.
Sibbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Sibbers for a few years, did the schoolhouse, and then did space control, handful of deployments with them, and then leisurely deployments though. Well, no, they were pretty
Space
rough. There were only 2 pools at my deployed location. So that was pretty rough.
Wow, that's right.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
service.
Yeah.
So,
Thanked me for my service.
you're a true guardian.
Yep. And then still working in the space industry.
Teapot.
Eric?
Oh, we go to Eric. Okay, let's.
Well, let's see. I was a member of Space Command my last year.
There you go.
Huh?
Yeah.
And
you
that's
could be a
probably
Legacy Guardian.
as close as I got to space.
Wait, no,
Remember
don't you have a
Space
Garmin
Command.
watch?
That's right.
No,
Oh.
Don't you have a
No, that was close.
rangefinder for your golf
Yeah.
shots?
I do have a
golf shop.
rangefinder. Yeah.
Ah,
You're welcome.
All right.
that has
Well,
nothing
thank
to
you.
do with space.
All right. I'm still
I
not
know
for
it's a
space.
lazy
Sorry.
rangefinder. But some people might not know that. So, yeah.
Not a space guy, but I'll support you big fellas, I guess. You know.
Well, we
Positive.
support you.
You're our honorary
Supporting us.
underwire.
Teapot, you were a space guy too?
I was a space guy all
You're
20
space
years
baby.
because I was smart and said, I want to work indoors in air conditioning, and they gave me space. And so I did all flavors of Sibbers for 16 years, and then spent the last 4 years at our schoolhouse, and then been working, government contracting space type jobs since 2018. So I love it. I don't know if I'll apply for the Guardian pin. However, Jake, if they do a Guardian OG, triple OG, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
That's how they could get us.
Oh yeah.
I think we should make some shirts. I think we should make some shirts.
Well, then I want an honorary OG shirt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll be a hog.
It's appropriate for cops, I suppose. Fits right
right across the chest,
yep.
baby.
Slid right in. That's cool.
Yeah. That'd be the simple thing. Just big OG, and then in the middle of the O, do the delta.
Yep.
And you can have original Guardian on the back.
Nice.
There you go. Boom, done.
Boy. Here we go.
Don't worry.
First merch push. Find our merch page in the freaking comments
below.
Like and surprise us.
Yeah, I know we could.
Because it will surprise us if you like it.
All proceeds go to Marty's testosterone shots.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't want my hair to fall out, so maybe I'll just disperse that amongst you three.
Yeah.
You are certainly an outsider in this group, I got to tell you.
Yeah, that is true.
Wow. Eric, what do you got for this date in history?
Oh, man. This one is, again, something we're all familiar with. Stop it, Jake. I'm on roll here, brother. I'm on a roll. All right. So I'm going to give you the operation name. You tell me what it was. I love doing this. Operation Gothic Serpent. Okay, good. That's what I figured. The Battle of Mogadishu, also known as Black Hawk Down, was part of Operation Gothic Serpent.
No shit.
I thought it was just an emo kid flashing everybody.
Yeah.
It was fought on October 3rd and 4th in 1993 in Mogadishu, Somalia.
That's a great one. That might be your best one yet.
Yeah. Between the United States,
he hasn't even done it yet.
I'm so happy. It's awesome.
I went down the right road this morning.
Sorry, Eric. Yeah.
So it was fought on October 3rd and 4th, 1993 in Mogadishu, Somalia, between the United States troops as part of a larger United Nations peacekeeping mission and Somalian militiamen loyal to Somalia General Mohammed Farah Aidid. The battle was part of the border Somalia civil war, which had been raging since 91. On October 3rd, U.S. forces planned to arrest two of Aidid's senior lieutenants during a meeting in the Aidid-controlled section of Mogadishu. The raid, originally scheduled to last 1 hour, turned into an all-night standoff and rescue operation that dragged on into the daytime hours of the next day. The objective of the operation was achieved, but it was a victory that turned into a deadly battle for Mogadishu. During the operation, Somalia forces armed with RPG-7s shot down two American Sikorsky UH-60 Blackhawks. A desperate defense of the downed helicopters began as more American troops were sent into to protect survivors of the crashes. On the morning of October 4th, a UN armored convoy fought its way to the helicopters and suffered further casualties, but was eventually able to rescue the survivors. The last part I want to give you here are the numbers. The exact number of Somalia casualties is not known, but estimates range to up to 3,000 to 4,000 dead for Somalia. The Red Cross estimates that another 200 Somalia civilians were killed when they were reportedly attached to the Americans. The Pentagon initially reported 5 American soldiers killed, but the final figure rose to 18 dead and 73 American soldiers wounded. This was the largest U.S. casualty toll since the Vietnam War era. There is your military history for October 3rd.
3,000 to 4,000 Somalis died?
Yeah.
Jeez,
big number.
Usually when you hear that like they've expended that much ammo, it's never that body count's never that high. But I mean, Jesus.
But we had Eric Bana and Josh Hartnett on our side.
That's true.
So
Also, Ewan McGregor,
Yeah.
Yes.
Obi-Wan was in
Obi-Wan.
there.
Come on.
Yeah.
we had that discussion that the majority of those guys at Black Hawk
Were
Down
British
or Brits and
or
Aussies.
foreigners. Yeah, foreigners.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. That's crazy.
But what a
They're
great
hardcore.
operation.
They're more hardcore than us.
We usually come across operation names that are terrible. This was Gothic Serpent. Come on, that's great.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Wow, that's a great one, man. Did you ever read the book? I remember reading a book
Let's read the book.
a long time ago, right? And one of the and you can only include so much in a movie, you know, you can't put everything in a book in there. But there was a period of the battle where they had a PJ. I think they had a couple PJs. But one of the PJs, he like ran across one of the streets to go get some plasma or something, and he ran back and under this hail of fire. It was crazy, but he made
I didn't know Air Force was attached to him.
Yeah, the movie cut out a few of those things.
Was it Wilkinson? Was that his name?
It sounds very, very, very familiar.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie didn't give anybody but the Army credit. And they kind of portrayed the captain a little more inept than he really was, you know, and maybe that's just a movie thing. But let's not forget we got 2 Medal of Honor out of there, right? We got Shugart and damn, what was the name of that other sniper? I can't remember. We should look that up. We should definitely mention that. It was because everybody's screaming at us right now. They're like, hey, nobody's looking that up. I don't see anybody looking down. I'm looking.
A lot of work. I got to go over to the other screen and freaking clickety clack.
Well, entertain us while we actually
either way. Yeah, was it Tom Sizemore? Isn't that right?
Yes, he was.
He plays like a cranky NCO.
No, he's a lieutenant.
So many. I know, but he plays like that cranky, jaded, like I don't know, grizzled guy in so many military shows. Right, because he was in.
They made him a lieutenant colonel.
Yeah, he was in Band of Brothers, right?
No, he was in Private Ryan.
Oh, Private Ryan.
Master Sergeant Gary Gordon, gentlemen.
Gary Gordon, yeah. Randy Shugart and Gary Gordon. They won the Medal of Honor for going down there and trying to defend.
We're talking movie crusties. Sam Elliott and We Were Soldiers might be my favorite crusty.
Oh man, but
we had
Sam Elliott.
I've been trying to get these 2 guys since we started this show to get our list of like E7s in movies, right? Because that's a great one. He may have been an E8.
He was an E9, I think. Sorry.
He may have been an E9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it, Kevin.
If you go down.
Sorry. I was.
But you got Gunny Highway. You got all those other guys, man. They're all E7s. So it would be good.
The Siege at Firebase Gloria.
That's right. That's right.
The guy that's dead. I forgot his name. The Marine.
Arlie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one of your better days in history, man. I had no idea it was the 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
Jesus.
25 years ago, man. Think about that already.
And I think that led to us eventually getting out. I think Clinton pulled us all out of there after that.
Correct. So. Yeah. They believed that another attack was possible, and they didn't want to have that many losses again.
Right.
So.
Well, good one, Eric. So let's get on to the news. All right. This first one, as my fellow Legacy Guardians will appreciate, but you won't, Eric. I already know.
Don't even think about it. Don't even think about appreciating it.
All right. So from spaceforce.com, have you ever gone out to this website? First of all, have you ever gone out to spaceforce.com? Put it down. You go out and it takes a lot to load it, right? But when it's all loaded, it has this like Space 2001 background kind of hum to it. Yeah, it's almost like Halo. It almost sounds like Halo is playing in the background as you're scrolling through stuff. You won't believe it. Go to spaceforce.com. You'll see what I'm talking about.
You do see
it's like you're playing Halo. Well, anyway, the Secretary of the Air Force authorizes the Space Force Good Conduct Medal. Thank God.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
U.S. Space Force Guardians are not eligible to receive the Space Force Good Conduct Medal if eligibility criteria are met. This medal recognizes exemplary behavior, efficiency.
Yeah.
You were
In
very efficient.
quotations.
Yeah. You sat at your freaking scope and did it very well.
You were not late for changeover once.
You were not late for changeover. We can't
Man.
bring you. We can't bring you on this podcast. Well done, Teapot. Well done. And fidelity of enlisted members of the United States Space Force, according to a memo signed by Secretary of the Air Force Frank Kendall on August 30th. The memo also outlined the award eligibility will be retroactive to the date the U.S. Space Force was established, which is December 20th, 2019. Eligibility for the award includes members demonstrating the Space Force core values. Oh. Have you heard of the Space Force core values yet?
Oh, no. I'm sure I will.
You're about to hear what the Space Force core values
excited.
are. Character, connection, commitment, and courage. And courage.
I'm so excited.
I wasn't familiar with this either. I actually had to look it up. Well, they come from, I hate to say this because look, I know we're going to be a Space Force show. So we are going to praise Space Force, but we're also going to rip it apart too, right? There's some that we can't in good faith just stand by in here. This is one of those times. They come from the Guardian Spirit Handbook.
Yeah. The old 4 C's.
Which is on spaceforce.mil. It's called the Guardian Spirit Handbook.
Are you guys really happy that you're now just old Guardians?
Well, we're old. This is all changes after
new
we're gone.
Guardians.
Yeah, this is all changes after we're gone. So,
yeah. I think I'd take back that pin or shirt.
Can I play devil's advocate for a minute?
Yes, you can.
Okay, fine.
So, you have this influx of Army, Navy. You have a lot of cultural differences coming in. So
you mean like
I think they're trying
trainees?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tons. So they're trying really hard to establish their own culture. Good, bad, or indifferent. Like they're trying. So to me, cool. Like it's just, I don't want to be too critical because I've never been in that situation, right? None of us have, right? So I'm curious to see how it goes. There's a lot of issues, right? A lot of issues. So good on them. Let's kind of see where it goes.
I'm with you,
Kevin. You can't say none of us have. We've gone through that just in our career field. We've gone through 2 different uniforms. We've gone through different. Now we have the Airman's Creed. We have the new Spings. We had the new Air Force emblem, right? That was different. All of it's just constantly changing, and it's constantly trying to incorporate everybody. Instead of acknowledging what they're doing and doing good at it, they're trying to fucking make a policy and bringing everybody in.
I think that pales in comparison to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But
yes, starting up their own branch. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. We're used to change, right? We were used to a very dynamic environment. And I don't think a lot of these Space Force folks are. They're struggling with it right now, from what I understand.
From an outsider's point of view, the only thing I'll say is, why does it have to happen so quick? Why do you have to establish your culture so quick?
Forced.
Oh,
it does
my goodness.
Feel forced,
yes.
Right. Now, 10 years from now, it'll be like, it won't be an issue, right?
I get it.
But it just feels like they're trying so fast, like little brother thing, right? Oh, they're not doing this. We got to do this, that kind of thing. It's just like, just take your time.
We were told directly, though, when Space Force stood up and I was a contractor, we're going to establish everything fast as hell, get all the deltas we can possibly need, just throw it all in and start doing everything, get documentation, get procedures, get everything good to go so that the next president can't shut it down.
Oh,
Like
that's
literally, that's
right.
what we were told, because the next political shift,
I can
because
see
it
that.
has the other guy's name on it,
Yeah.
it's always trash, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Every one of the presidents have done it.
That's
If
right.
it's got the last guy's name on it, burn it to the ground.
Well,
Good
and
point.
Teapot, to go along with you, and I hear you, I know, but this is low hanging fruit. We got to make fun of this shit, right?
Oh,
But
yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
when
Just trying to play devil's advocate.
they instituted the Airman's Creed, didn't that feel like it was jammed down your throat? Because all of a
It
sudden
was
everybody's
so
like,
jammed
we
down
got
your
to
throat.
say it at every ceremony. We got to say it every time, and everybody's mumbling through it halfway through. And it that lasted for about 2 years. And then people are just like, they don't know it. Stop making them try to say it because nobody knows.
I was at
You know what I mean?
NCOA when that was like popping off. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm an American airman. I'm a warrior. First of all, I'm not a warrior. I don't shoot guns. I sit at a desk. Like, why am I saying this? Like, would I
Right.
fight? Would I
Right.
fight? Yes. If I'm holding a gun, we've probably already lost. Okay, let's throw that out there. So, like,
Amen.
what? Why am I saying this?
Yeah.
You know?
Imagine if they introduced that Airman's Creed at the same time that you had the choice to go over to Space Force. You don't think a lot of hands would have been like, memorize this son of a bitch, or I'll go.
Space Force.
I'll go.
I'll go.
How to incentivize that?
Yeah.
So you can get this good conduct medal after serving in the Space Force for 3 years. Right? So just like every other good conduct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But once you got a good conduct medal, you need a uniform to pin it on, right?
So is it the same medal, or is it specifically a different medal for, I'm sorry, detailed questions?
Oh, you mean like the ribbon?
Come on, Aaron.
Yeah, does it look like the regular Air Force conduct?
It looks like this.
I would imagine so.
Right? It's this one right here.
I see it. Yeah, very nice.
Well, it's like national.
It's got to be. It's got to be different. They have
national
to establish their own
the
ribbons.
same for everything, right?
For
I don't
every
know.
branch.
I don't know if the Air Force Good Conduct Medal is the same as the Army Good Conduct Medal, or the Navy.
I don't think it is.
It's not.
Well, then the Space Force is going to be different too. Right?
Yep.
Thank you. I'm tracking.
But you need a uniform, so the Space Force is getting closer to a dress uniform. All right. This is from the Air Force Times. Space Force kicks off its final phase of uniform testing. Thank God, right?
Well, you got to be comfortable sitting in that chair.
Everybody remembers these, right?
Remember the person on the right, Dylan Caudell, worked with him at the 533rd. I got some stories. He's hilarious, man. Yeah,
really?
he is. Oh, he's fascinating, man. He is fascinating.
Well,
those pants are horrible.
I know.
Yeah, they're garbage.
Especially for that poor female. Man.
I know.
Yeah. I know.
Her crotches at her knees.
Well, look at General Raymond. He's like, fuck.
He's like, I'm glad I'm out of here. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Well, for the next 3 months, more than 100 Guardians across 8 installations will sport the latest prototypes of Space Force garb as the service enters the final phase of dress uniform testing. The wear testing period started September 18th. It allows service members to test the day-to-day comfort and functionality of Space Force dress attire before outfits are finalized and distributed to every Guardian in 2025. The military's newest and smallest branch debuted the first iterations of its uniforms 2 years ago, which I think this is a picture from 2 years ago. But that was mocked by its baggy pants, at least, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't look so bad when you see it, but I've seen some people wear it walking around. It doesn't move functionally well. The diagonal buttons, it's too offsetting.
Does it actually button, or are they just on the outside of the coat?
I think both.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't ever worn it. So
it looks like they're just like ornaments. I don't think they're actually outside. Yeah, which I actually think that's really cool looking. The pants,
Yeah,
wow.
why couldn't you? I mean, yeah.
Do you guys okay? Do you guys watch golf?
Yeah,
Sure.
I do. Sure.
I, at work I wear essentially golf slacks. Like Greg Norman has these slacks that are like stretchy and
Yeah.
His shark
they're not.
stuff is great. Does he still
Yeah,
have that line? Yeah,
yes, that's what I'm wearing.
that
What I'm
stuff is
saying is
great.
it's a flexible waist, right? So you put a couple pounds on, like they're still gonna fit. Like, why don't they do something
Essential
like
for
that?
Space Force.
Bingo.
Essential for
Whoa,
Yeah.
space.
that's right.
So why don't they do something like that?
I don't
Because
know.
when
I've
I wear
often
them,
asked
like
that.
they're
Go ahead.
no, they fit like if you look at the pants, like they're really baggy around the thighs, like they fit really well around the thighs, or a little loose on the legs. It, the technology's there, the patterns are there. Use what's around you, and they're freaking comfortable. Like
It's
you don't need a belt, but you just wear a belt just
sure
to have a
for
belt.
the
But
look.
like,
Yeah,
right? I don't get it, man.
it's got to be
Yeah.
lowest bidder. It's got to be lowest bidder stuff, right?
Right? Top, I love. I think that's cool, but the bottom, I'm like, what the hell's going on there, man?
Yeah.
Once again, though, we've all been through it, right? Air Force
Yeah.
PT gear. That
No, that
inseam on the egg.
Yes. Whoa, what happened?
first
The only
iteration was
thing that got different
garbage.
was the leg hole size. That's it.
Right.
That's the only thing that was different.
Uh, that's right. You brought that up before. That was funny. That was funny.
Those freaking things,
It was a
man.
new but you brought up those New Balance shorts when those first came out. Yeah, those were awesome. But when he got the reflective things, they were terrible. They were
So
absolutely
is it a tie as well for the women? That little bow thing they used to wear. So it's a tie for the men and
Oh, that little clip-on
little,
thing. It does
yeah.
look the same, right? I mean, yes, right. I never even looked at that color. It almost looks like the same jacket.
Yeah.
I bet you there's buttons on the inside of that flap on the lower section
Yep.
because it is all one big flap.
You think it's
Yeah.
So
buttons
you
or
got
it's
internal
like
buttons.
those clasps, those little
Yeah.
hooks, the hook and
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
It's an interesting looking coat.
I dig it. I really do. I think it's neat looking,
I
and,
think
and I
they
like
I think they
I
should have
like how
put a
they're
belt with
similar.
it. I think they should have put a belt with it, to be honest. I think a belt.
Like the
Yeah.
Marines wear on their coat.
Yeah,
That
it
would
would
look
have looked
Yes.
better.
nice.
I think it would
Yep.
have
That
looked
look,
better.
Yep.
Anyway, let's see. For this new trial, select service members will be at Camp Smith, New York. Have you ever heard of Camp Smith? It must be maybe it's
No.
Air National Guard base or something, or space. Well, space.
Yeah. So I think that's obviously upstate, and I think I know that what they have there. Yeah. I
Really?
think
Oh yeah.
I taught a couple students at the 533rd that went to Camp Smith.
So it's going to be at Camp Smith, Cavalier, Goodfellow, Kirtland, Lackland, Landstuhl, Vandenberg, and Yokota. So that's where the participants are. They're scattered all over the place. So if you see the two guys walking around your base, you're like, hey, you're fit testing.
Yeah.
how's that feel?
How's that feel? Pants are still baggy. Okay, so good on them. Good on. They're gonna get there. They're gonna get there. Like Jake said, I think one of the best things the Space Force did with uniforms so far is to change the coloring of their lettering versus the Air Force. So they went to the dark lettering, right? The Air Force kept it gold or something like that, which you can't see on the
Yeah.
OCPs. You can't read it worth a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So good on the Space Force for doing that. Okay, let's talk some good stuff about space. From the Associated Press. I know it's a week old or so, but I thought we should mention it because this is pretty badass. The 3 astronauts returned to Earth after a year in space. NASA's Frank Rubio sets U.S. space record. So a NASA astronaut and 2 Russian cosmonauts returned to Earth on Wednesday, last couple of Wednesdays ago, after being stuck in space for just over a year. American Frank Rubio set a record for the longest U.S. space flight. The trio landed in a remote area of Kazakhstan, descending in a Soyuz capsule that was rushed up as a replacement. So what happened is they went up and their capsule had some kind of Apollo 13 problem with it, right?
Yeah, they
it was hit by space junk.
Yep. Space junk, yep.
Lost all its coolant while docked with the International Space Station. So they had to turn around and send another capsule up, which took basically another half a year to get it ready and sent up there. So that's pretty cool. It's all Russian. It wasn't us. It's really like, hey, can you guys do it? Because
we're piggybacking
with
yeah, that's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
because it's still the International Space Station, and we still got Russians and Americans all working together.
Right.
But we are fueling a war on their border, and they're invading some other country.
Awkward.
Are we doing any manned lift up to the ISS, or is that all Russians? It has been for a long time, right? I don't think.
Dragon isn't Dragon.
Elon is, yeah.
Yeah.
SpaceX
are they sending people up there? Okay.
Yeah.
So
their capsules look crazy, though. Have you seen the pictures inside their capsules?
No.
It's like a Tesla.
Yeah.
It's like touch screen Tesla. Yeah, it's like a lot of empty space. A lot of here's these three monitors, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of switches. There's not a lot of anything. You're like, what the?
Where they were talking about space exploration with the tourism part of it. So, how much would you pay as it becomes available to the basic guy or gal sitting on the street? You know what I mean? Would you go? And I'm like, hell no, not until it becomes like a second thought kind of thing. And cars are driving all the time. Sure. I'm not going up there anytime soon.
And all that was just like a John Glenn suborbital ride, right?
Yeah. I can't imagine the money they're
coming right back, right?
If they're successful with routine trips.
Remember he ran a couple of those because they had Shatner went on one. Yeah. They had a couple other big celebrities. Did he stop?
No, Virgin's still doing it too, right?
Yeah, Virgin's doing it.
Virgin's still doing it. Yeah.
Is that that's that British
2 or 3 companies doing it?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, sir. Branson. I'll pass.
And they're just
Richard Branson,
going suborbital, right?
Yeah, they go up and touch it, right?
Just enough to poke out, right. And then you're coming back down, right?
Just the tip. Just the tip.
Just it. Yeah.
Just the tip.
Hey, so that
yeah.
I said that story, man. It's funny. So the article made it sound like they were asking me like what did you think about being a year in space? And he basically was like, yo, they would have told me to have been a year, I would have said no.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm with him on that.
Yeah,
long damn time.
The issue I had with that is like he's like, hey, I missed my daughter's freshman year. I was like, freshman year? Come on.
Yeah. You're judging him for having family priorities.
Well, but it's your freshman year.
It's your third born. Nobody cares.
It's like the baby though, Jake. That's the baby. You have the baby,
Jake,
right?
It's if
you love
like,
the most.
Hey, I can't go on this deployment to Qatar because I might miss my kid's kindergarten graduation.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
It's like, oh Jesus, really? Man, Jake's got to be there for his kids'
kindergarten graduation, man.
He must really love his kids.
That's because cap and gowns, man, are
disgusting.
So Rubio's spent more than 2 weeks longer in space than Mark Van Hei, H-E-I.
Yep.
Who held NASA's previous endurance record for a single space flight. He was up there for 371 days.
Wow.
Rubio, 47. He's an Army doctor and a helicopter pilot. Cool. And that's where it goes into the whole thing. He ended up missing important family milestones, including the oldest of his 4 children, finishing her first year at the U.S. Naval Academy. First year.
Right? She may not even be there for year 2.
But the question I had on this was, what are we choosing for? It would be interesting. I should probably research this. What's our criteria for astronauts?
Yeah.
It used to be like the the test pilots and the whole right stuff process. But
Yeah.
now they're just like, okay, what do you want to do? You want to go to Europe or you want to be an astronaut? Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'll be an astronaut. That's fine.
I'm assuming they still have to pass a lot of physical tests, right? Like,
I guess. Right?
Yeah, but
There's got to be a selection process. There's
right,
there's got to be.
and I'm not concerned about that. I think they'll figure that out, right? Like,
I'm just
important.
curious. I'm just curious how you get to go up to the ISS. What's your resume got to be, right? It used to be you had to be a test pilot, you had to be some kind of pilot. Well, he was a helicopter pilot. He's not pulling any G's in an helicopter, so.
But
there must be something else. There must be some other criteria. That's what I'm.
Obviously,
you have to have been awarded a Space Force Good Conduct medal
nice.
prior.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
wonder how messed up he is, though.
Yeah,
we still haven't figured out the whole anti-gravity muscle.
Well,
mass
no.
thing.
So the guy
point.
the guy that he beat out, like, he has a twin brother, right?
Yeah.
Or is it
Yeah.
like, and there are DNA differences. They've discovered that.
Oh,
and
no
he is
way!
messed up.
Yeah.
Because
he's
he was
still
up there
messed
in
up.
space for over a year.
Yep.
Wow.
Identical twin brothers. That his DNA changed
I had
from
no
being in
idea.
space that long.
Wow, I didn't hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got messed up. And then I mean, every picture you see of them, the guys that come back for a long time, they're always like their heads propped up by some random dude behind them and stuff. Like, there's no, I mean, seriously, it's got to take a long time to recover from that.
Sure, without having gravity and all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So how
To survive up there long term, we got to figure out artificial gravity. We have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gravity boots keep you on the ground.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I'll pass.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
I'm good. I want to see Uruguay first.
But if you're on a deployment and they're like, oh, the plane broke down, it's going to be like another week before you get it. How mad are you, right? You're like, son of a bitch, right? This guy got delayed for 6 months.
Oh.
And they're like, hey,
yeah,
we're going to try to get that capsule up.
Try to figure how you're going to plant your potatoes, because it's going to be a little while before we come get you.
Gonna science the shit out of this.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good.
That's two solid movie references in this podcast. That's what's up.
I think you're in. Yeah, you're definitely in.
We're done. That's quota done.
We're done.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to some shit that'll make you mad. Not space stuff, Eric.
Right on.
But it's
something
stuff that'll
new.
make all of us mad, right?
Nice.
Actually, this was some good news from the VA. No, it's not. There's never any good news from the VA.
Actually, you know what though? Kevin's being pretty optimistic. Like, he didn't shit on the core values.
I like that.
He was excited about the uniform with the bulgy crotch shit.
He's
all super pumped about that.
That's true.
I need all the help I can get, Jake.
Dude, they look like maternity uniforms. Like, the normal uniforms look like maternity uniforms to me.
Inadvertently, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Some of those guys we knew with max velocity would love those fucking pants, right?
And we've made this comment before. There's a difference between what you're putting in a Marine Corps uniform and a Space Force uniform. So, I mean, the mannequin that it's wrapped around is different.
Yeah.
True. That's true. Okay, this is from military.com. Top VA executives were mistakenly paid $9.7 million in bonuses.
Wow.
How could
mistakenly?
Mistakenly paid.
It's the same guys that lost it initially.
Here's the thing. I don't understand why we expect any different. They mistakenly lost $1.4 billion last year.
Yep.
So
why would anything change?
Why wouldn't they accidentally pay themselves millions of dollars?
Hey, did I write a check for like $1 million to myself? Oh, yes, I
Oh, that money's lost.
did.
If
I
you
don't know
got
what
it,
is.
fine.
No accounting of it. The Department of Veterans Affairs mistakenly paid senior career executives $9.7 million in bonuses earlier this month, and now oversight committees in Congress are demanding. They're demanding answers. Right? The VA announced Friday that the erroneous payments to 170 senior executives at its headquarters in Washington, D.C.
Let's write them all a check.
Which were part of PACT Act incentives to foster critical skills at the department would be rescinded. So they're going to take it back.
Hmm.
I'll believe that when I see
Sure,
it.
they're going to take it back.
That's if they can find it.
When's the last time we audited
Exactly.
When's the last time we successfully
invested in my OnlyFans, Papa Bear, OnlyFans.com.
Papa Bear only
I'm on
fans.
it. I'm on it.
I think you should rename it the Hog.
Hey, by
Hog
the way,
heaven.
9.4 million, simple math by 100. Each one of them, $940,000.
Oh my God.
On
That's
accident.
a lot. That's a lot of McDoubles, man.
On
That's what I'm
accident.
saying.
You know, I got 3 months of fucking zero pay before because they accidentally paid me BAH with dependent. For a year and a half, I'd been telling them, don't freaking pay me this. I don't think it's right. And they're like, nope, it's good. It's good. It's good.
No, it's all right. It's coming in.
All of a sudden, they were like, hey,
hey, bud.
Zeros for the next 3 months.
Hey.
The scariest thing for an illicit guy is when he gets overpaid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're done.
Because you can get overpaid. You're like,
getting it.
I spent that, and they're like, well, then you'll go half pay for the next 5 months. You know, you're like,
and heaven forbid you're responsible, because I filed a hardship because I was like, hey, I haven't been paid for 2 months now. This is kind of a hardship. And they're like, okay, fill out this paperwork. How much do you have savings? How much do you have in investments? How much do you have this? Oh, you've got plenty. And I'm like, just because I was responsible and I don't live paycheck to paycheck. Yes. I don't live paycheck to paycheck, so
please contact your first sergeant. He'll set up a schedule for your dining hall, chow hall meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There you are.
Yeah,
we'll feed you.
Well, leaders of both the House and Senate Veterans Affairs Committees are seeking information on how the error occurred. VA leadership managing the program clearly did not follow the intended procedures and guardrails that facilitate the facilities in the field were required to follow. We expect a much higher level of due diligence, the lawmakers wrote. The PACT Act allows the VA to hire or provide incentive pay to employees in hard-to-fill posts, such as human resources, information technology, law enforcement, and housekeeping.
Look,
they deserve that money. Housekeeping probably deserves that money.
HR does not. That is not a hard to fill post.
No,
get the heck out of here.
IT maybe. HR,
that would be the only one.
Law enforcement, housekeeping,
medical maybe,
or maybe that's just what those guys wrote down.
None of those are critical medical infrastructure, are they?
No.
It's the Department of Veteran Affairs. 90% of what they do is medical. None of those are medical positions.
No.
Those are all bullshit, bureaucratic, arbitrary positions that you don't need.
Correct.
Maybe you still need a security guard every once in a while for a freaked out veteran, but I'm sure that's not a hard to fill position.
Eric, we got a cold 9 running down the hall. Tackle him.
Yeah. Quick, tasing the bastard with PTSD.
Put your knee in his back.
I'm going to put that chokehold on until he taps.
A review of the Critical Skill Initiative Pay, or CSI, in early September uncovered the erroneous payments. Because of this error, we are canceling all CSA payments made to career senior executives at VA headquarters while we take time to review and strengthen the CSI process. Why are these senior executives getting bonuses?
for not losing $5 billion.
It's absolutely
they only lost 1.3 billion.
I would assume that it's got something to do when you reference the PAC Act. It's about those programs that are being established to reach back to past things that are affecting our vets, right?
It just makes you go.
So the PAC Act would be one of them, I would assume.
So much slush money up there. They're
Yeah.
just like, fuck. Now, the good part of the article said, hey, most of the PAC Act money is getting there, like 97%. So it's just these 100 and some executives who benefited from some bullshit bonus that they awarded to themselves. I don't know how. Somebody had to award it to them. Who awarded it to them? Right?
They did. I think you're exactly right. They pat themselves on the back, man. Hey, good job, buddy.
Like some GS-15 is like, hey, there's a loophole, dude. We can get $940,000 and they'll never know.
Crazy.
Wow. So good job, VA, as always. Good job.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Okay, let's turn to Europe. A couple of weeks ago, we did that story about the lack of security, about all the stuff we're sending to Ukraine, and how people are just at the army. That story was that at the transfer point in Poland, where they did this
lose track.
The army guys were just like, "Hey, we're out of here in the morning." All right. Well, I don't know whose this is. They weren't hand receipted. There were Bradleys like full of M4s and stuff.
Rifles.
That the guys who received it had no idea the rifles were in. They're like, that Bradley's full of rifles? Oh shit. Well, we never signed any hand receipt for it.
Take a couple home.
And it's about shift change, so I'm out of here. Right?
Party at my house, shooting in the backyard.
Right. Well, Ukraine says they fixed it. They fixed all that whole thing.
They got a spreadsheet.
They got better than a spreadsheet.
Excel is the key to space power, fellas.
That's goddamn right. And if you could do formulas, holy shit, we got a promotion for you.
We might have macros. You know macros? Damn.
That's nerd foreplay right there.
Oh my goodness.
It is. But that's where we're at now. That's where our Space Force what the fuck moments is, right? From Business Insider, strangely enough, Ukraine says it has a massive database that the American embassy can use to track every last weapon the U.S. has sent to Kyiv.
Oh, I'm sure.
Every last
data
weapon
in, data out.
starting from October 1st, 2023. You can track everything out. Well, what about the ones we got? I said after October 1st. Right.
Did I stutter?
We had
October 1st.
We had some macro issues, but now they're all cleaned up. It's all cleaned up. Ukraine said it now has a meticulous system for storing and tracking U.S. provided munitions that the American embassy, strangely enough, that's how they single it out, right? The American embassy can access anytime. So Alexandra Ustinova, a Ukrainian member of parliament who leads a commission tracking foreign military aid, told CBS News 60 Minutes that serial numbers of every single piece of U.S. weaponry sent to Ukraine are in a database that the American embassy in Kyiv can view. Every serial number.
Wait. We've seen this in action, right? We've seen somebody walking around with a clipboard trying to find a damn printer.
Oh, yeah.
That somebody moved. And this is in a 20-room building. And they can't find a damn printer. And somebody's just, I got a hand receipt for this. Who moved it?
And nobody in that office gives a shit what he's got to go through.
Nobody gives a shit.
I think they moved it like 6 months ago, man. I
Dude,
don't know.
That was out of toner. We put it out back. I don't know what you're talking about. What? He sees. Can you imagine that in a whole war-torn country.
Oh yeah.
halfway across the world.
Where is Bradley Vehicle 1020?
Because it was over here. Somebody must have moved it.
We put it out back. It ran out of
Yeah,
toner. Oh my God.
Oh,
God, that's an excellent point, Jake. Well done.
oh,
So after they type in this database, then U.S. officials can go visit the warehouses storing the equipment to see the inventory for themselves. Shouldn't they not be in a warehouse and be like out on the battlefield somewhere?
Right.
they got a magnetic sign out board. Out to battle.
Javelin 1 out.
Can we all agree that equipment custodian might be the worst additional duty ever in the history of
God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, equipment custodian is pretty bad. ComSec is pretty bad, but equipment custodian is pretty bad. So
equipment custodian at Sivers was atrocious.
And there is no benefit you'll ever get from 100% inventory.
And I think every person in supply, the squadron supply would go, oh, well, we don't have a clue where it's at.
Nobody knows where anything is. And nobody's willing to take 10 minutes to help you.
That's right.
Nope.
This isn't going to be any different.
No. Everybody's pissed when they're like, I got to crawl under your desk and flip this over because the serial numbers are
exactly.
Like,
can you read that serial number for me?
Let me get up here.
That flight suit zippers digging into the soft part of your damn knee every time.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, dang it.
Everybody's so upset.
Oh my God.
I supervised Derek Miller. He was a senior airman at the time. And they made him we were training, right? And they made him equipment custodian and they consumed him. And I'm like, look, Derek, don't worry about training. Like, I'll handle all the training. Just figure your shit out.
Inventory.
If you need help, tell me, but you don't need to do anything training related. Like, I will take that. I will take on whatever you have. Because dude, he was getting crushed.
Was he
like
upset?
This is a little bit. I mean, he was upset that I didn't give him that additional duty. Like, I was a supervisor. I'm like, no, he's not fucking doing that. But like, I was told he's doing that. I'm like, well, Derek, man, like, let me know what you need. Like, but I will take over your training responsibilities while you deal with this shit show.
That was nice. Yeah, that was nice. Because there's nothing but negative on that.
Right.
There's no Air Force or Space Force award for having 100% inventory.
Right.
But you can be left out to dry if you don't find.
Well, we talked about it last time. You're going to be money coming out of your check, buddy.
Yeah.
You lost the Bradley? Oh, well, you're not separating anytime soon.
And it's always some E4 or below.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is there any evidence we've lost Bradleys? Because that article seemed to think it was more like small arms.
I was just using it as an example.
Oh, okay.
We lose Hummers all the time.
Hummers are a different story. Maybe
there's a drunken German who takes them like every other month. So.
It's like a hobby for him. He gets like sauced up and he's like, I'm going to take this.
I got this one 75 miles. This one, boys.
There goes Sven again. He's freaking crazy.
This thing is gone.
Well, it's so silly getting back to this article because they're like they can come in, type in, let's say, a Javelin or a HIMARS and see in which brigade it is, and then go back and check it if they don't believe it. Why would you add that little statement on there? Alexandra Ustinova. You can go back and check it if you don't believe it. Okay, Javelin or HIMARS, I got it, right? But what about small arms? What about ammo? What about vests? And that's what goes
even that,
right,
Marty, though, like, some team is going to return and be like, hey man, you guys need this Javelin, and they'll be like, oh yeah, thanks, grab it, and freaking one team is going to walk out, grab the one from them, and just do a changeover with them.
Sure,
that's going to happen. Absolutely. And at that point in time,
and that's
one guy walks back into base with no Javelin. He's like, I did changeover out there. What are you talking about? He's got
They
it.
were late. They were late, man. I had to fucking. I wanted to go.
He signed the log.
Classic.
He signed the log, right?
He signed it.
I'm going home, man.
But
He's
that's
got it.
but that's with Americans. Now you got Ukrainians, right?
And in the middle of
war.
active war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Right?
work.
You're not. I mean, that spreadsheet is maybe 20% accurate.
Maybe.
If
I
that.
think.
But
I
I
mean,
mean, the old adage
I
of
saw-
data in, data out. And it's exactly what you
50%
said.
accurate, maybe high side.
But it's one of those things that, like I've always said, it briefs well, right? So you can tell American lawmakers and stuff are like, hey, they got a database.
Yeah, we're trying.
Oh,
They're like,
okay.
I'm sure that's good. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, half the 80-year-olds are really impressed with the name database. Oh, database. Oh, newfangled thing.
That sounds like some TikTok-y thing. Okay,
Yeah.
they're all over it.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Well, Marty,
Yep.
what about the money? You talk about us sending them money. What are they doing with the money?
What
Is there a
are they
spreadsheet for the
doing
money?
with the money, right?
We
Don't
gave
get me,
100
don't get me
database.
going down that.
They got a
that
database
road,
for that,
right?
man.
They got to, yeah. It's all meticulously accounted for.
We received 500,000 from the U.S., 200,000 from Germany, and we don't know where this 45,000 came from. Right?
Is that
This is so strange.
did that go to the Bidens? I'm not sure. I don't have a receipt for it. I don't have a receipt for it. I don't know.
Here's the thing, too. If we can't even keep track of VA stuff, like literally,
our own organization lost
own
2 years ago
organizations
lost
with
$11
our
billion
own standards and everything like that.
Right.
We can't keep track of that.
And you know
when we
true,
have immediate control,
because we're mocking the corrupt Ukrainian government and stuff. We just had 170 senior officials get paid almost $1 million.
Yeah.
And almost got away with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we need some smarter people in government, I think. I don't know.
I don't know if it's that.
No,
Smarter?
we don't need any.
Or maybe they're too smart. Maybe we need dumb people there.
Maybe just less corrupt.
Well, this all came about after military.com published an article in July about a Pentagon report that highlighted how a Russian-led criminal ring in Ukraine was able to steal weapons sent to Kyiv for the war. The stolen weapons include a grenade launcher, machine gun. They were taken by Russians who had joined a volunteer battalion per the outlet. In August 2022, a group of volunteer battalion members also stole 60 rifles and nearly 1,000 rounds of ammunition, presumably for sale on the black market. That's what CNN.
My Excel spreadsheet says they're not gone.
Yep.
Yep. They're not gone. My spreadsheet says they're here.
Another highlighted incident
Greg Shed.
$17,000 worth of bulletproof vests being stolen by Ukrainian criminals pretending to be aid workers. No serial number on those vests, right?
Okay, look.
At the end of the day, though, I mean, pretty peanuts compared to what we're giving them, right? Like
that's right.
Oh yeah.
Like, at the end of the day,
that's right.
If that's the worst of it, shit, that's actually really good. Like if that's the worst of it, like,
or if that's just the ones we found.
Right. And that's my concern is like we need to tighten that up, right? Like we need to tighten it up.
The U.S. has committed more than $43.8 billion in security assistance and military aid to Ukraine since the start of the war.
43 billion, man.
The thing recently that did kind of annoy me is that like government shutdown. How are we going to pay Ukraine? I was like, F Ukraine, man.
That was the concern, yeah.
Oh my God, that was the worst optics. Is when some of that is like, well, geez, we got all this aid to Ukraine. Are we going to get the $170 or what was it? $700 to every Maui family if government shuts down?
So,
Man,
not to mention Pennsylvania gets nothing, right?
I've got a buddy that works for FEMA, and that's the maximum amount they could give per family. And
I
anything
figured
more,
that there was some regulation there, right?
Anything more takes an act of Congress, and yeah, how's that going to go right now?
No House Speaker. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. like, and I get the optics, like to propel the Ukraine aid ahead of everything else is bad. Uh, but it's all bad, right? A government shutdown, it's
All bad.
all
Bad.
fucking
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, but to
Because they
propel
had
the,
stay for your 6 weeks. Don't go on your 6 week break. Work this shit out.
Yeah.
You know.
right, right,
I'm fine. I understand the money. I understand that. But the thing that I legit was, I don't know why I was so upset about it. It doesn't affect me, but the fact that the Maui governor said that they're not rebuilding in that area. They're confiscating all that land, and you're on your own. Yeah. And the insurance companies will pay you for your land. I'm like, you can't take that money. Like, that land was handed down generation to generation. And it's not
right.
like, okay, let's say the
land.
insurance company pays me $2 million for the house and the land. I'm not going anywhere on that island and saying here and getting even an equivalent house.
Not getting close.
1 for 1. Yeah, it's not even
close.
Yeah.
Even if you moved islands, right? Which for us, like, that's moving for states, you know. Like, I grew up on that island. I grew up in Oregon, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going from Maui to Oahu, it's significantly different. You're not going to be able to do that.
I didn't know that was happening. So I actually have a friend, a good friend, whose girlfriend's parents lived in that area and their house was spared. So I'm gonna ask him, like,
it jumped him.
Yeah, check that. I'll look up that news article, because I was like, this is,
if what you say is true, that's
shit.
Very akin to what is that? If they want to put a railroad running through your property, what do they
eminent
call that?
domain?
Eminent domain.
Yeah,
and you refuse to sell.
But it's
they try to sell first.
It's also very much like the Indian reservation stuff. They're like, hey, we're just this is our land now. You know,
right?
Some money for you.
Yeah, Jake, pull me that article, man, because I'm gonna show that, because they're not back yet, but they're gonna be back soon, and I'm very curious to see the optics there. There's so much weird stuff. Very interesting.
What have you heard from them, Teapot? I mean, because they have that whole thing where they put the fence up around the town where you can't see into it. They don't let drones fly over it. It's like, what is going on with this land in here?
All I know is it was atrocious, man. I mean, their emergency system failed, right? So people weren't like concerned. You have people in the water, right? Like avoiding the fire. So that is very interesting. I'm gonna reach out to him probably this weekend, because I might see him this weekend. So
come back with that. That'd be interesting to follow up. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
And that is some bull shit.
Yeah. Okay, let's raise our spirits and talk about starting.
Speaking of spirits, I'm almost out.
I know, me too. So we got to finish up. Let's
have to work tomorrow though, so yeah, I gotta slow down there.
So do we all. Well,
no,
Eric.
No,
right. Eric's officially retired.
Congratulations, sir.
But he's got to film some content for OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
I mean, that's
work. Yeah, he's got.
I mean, is it work though, or is it more cardio? You know?
If you love what you do.
Teapot, you're going to have to come to one of my shows where my CPAP is the highlight of the whole show.
Like, ooh, that's nice. That's a nice CPAP. Let me. There.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Next.
Jake, you look completely disgusted. Did you pay the initial fee and you're disappointed with the content? Is that what?
No. Yeah, that's what it is.
No.
Yeah, I looked up Eric's OnlyFans account now.
Papa Bear.
I expect a quicker refresh rate.
I have to skip days of posting new data. It takes a little while. I am an older gentleman.
I was a little disappointed because it was using one of those old CPAPs, and I was like, "Come on,
yeah,
get the new nose one, baby! Come on,
little nose here, baby." No, but see, I can draw sexy shit on a full mask.
That is a good call.
Well, along with the Ukraine stuff, let's keep on that because there was a lieutenant colonel and there was a doctor who wrote this Army War College paper, and they called it a call to action: lessons from Ukraine for the future force. So the abstract was, and this I wanted to discuss it with you guys. The abstract is 50 years ago, the U.S. Army faced a strategic inflection point after a failed counterinsurgency effort in Vietnam. In response to lessons learned from the Yom Kippur War, which I don't know about. I mean, I've heard of the Yom Kippur War, but I don't know what the lessons are. Yeah. The United States Army
Israel.
Training and Doctrine Command was created to reorient thinking and doctrine around the conventional Soviet threat. Today's Army, so we basically went from counterterrorism with Vietnam into the big Soviet battlefield formation that we fought for 20 years. That's what I was trained on, right? And now we went back into counterinsurgency for the last 20 years, and now we're preparing for ground wars again, right? Today's Army must embrace the Russo-Ukrainian conflict as an opportunity to reorient the force into one as forward-thinking and formidable as the Army that won Desert Storm. That's true, because that was height of Cold War, and we had all those people and equipment. So the couple paragraphs that I pulled out are interesting. The whole paper is really interesting, but it's very deep, and it goes into a lot of theory. But this says the Russia-Ukraine war is exposing significant vulnerabilities in the Army's strategic personal depth and ability to withstand and replace casualties. Army theater medical planners may anticipate a sustained rate of roughly 3,600 casualties per day, ranging from those killed in action to those wounded in action or suffering disease or other non-battle injuries. With a 25% predicted replacement rate, the personnel system will require 800 new personnel each day. For context, the United States sustained about 50,000 casualties in 2 decades of fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. In large-scale combat operations, the United States could experience that same number of casualties in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but see, Afghanistan and Iraq was initially thought to be high casualty rates. They thought the Iraqi army was going to be a considerable force fighting back, and it turned out they weren't so much.
Well, and you go Revolutionary Guard and all that stuff.
Yeah. So now we're assuming if we were to go to head to toe with Russia, the same thing would happen. I'm not so sure it would.
Russia or China.
Or Russia or China. I'm not so sure the same thing that's happening to Ukraine would happen to us. I'd like to think it wasn't. Our war planners are a little sharper, I think.
But I think
20 years of experience in our back pocket.
I don't think we could pivot to that kind of combat right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
After 20 years.
But I don't think we would see the kind of casualties that they have either.
So go ahead.
My biggest worry, and that article makes a very good point. All things equal, in a full, non-nuclear confrontation with China, like you have to pretty much just negate any space capability at that point. So it's going to come down to naval and ground forces. Right now, naval, we've got it. But do we really have it with ground forces?
Well, do we really have it with naval forces?
I think we do.
China's
Navy. I think we do.
I think we do.
Naval, and I think we have the ability to choke. Compared to China, I think we have the ability to choke point their access, like shipping lanes and all that.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
I think that's the potential. We would give up that South China Sea, but we would choke everything else from the rest of the world off.
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
And just be like, deuces, you're on your own. Just wait them out.
And to go along with what you're saying, both Eric and Teapot, is that when they go like, hey, this is going to be what they say, 3,600 casualties per day. World War II wasn't 3,600 casualties.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they had battles for 2 or 3 days. But then there'd be a week, whatever it was. So it wasn't you were losing 3,600
mass casualties a day.
But I don't want to sell them short. I get their point. If we do get into
and it's all in the planning. I understand you've got to plan worst case scenario. I would assume too.
Yeah, right.
You've got to plan for those losses and how you would resupply it.
And I think what they're leading to, with their bigger point is, the Army is facing a dire combination of a recruiting shortfall and a shrinking individual ready reserve. Which, we did that story. I think we did a history thing on that, didn't we? Where I didn't realize how many IRR they called up for Desert Storm. But they did. And I was like, oh, shit. I didn't know they actually played that card, right? But now they're saying it's a shrinking individual ready reserve. This recruiting shortfall, nearly 50% in the combat arms career management fields, is a longitudinal problem. Every infantry and armor soldier we do not recruit today is a strategic mobilization asset we will not have in 2031. The IRR, this is the number. The IRR, which stood at 700,000 in 1973, 450,000 in 1994, so 20 years later, it now stands at 76,000.
Wow.
So these numbers cannot fill the existing gaps in the active force, let alone any casualty replacement or expansion during a large-scale combat operation. The implication is that the 1970s concept of an all-volunteer force has outlived its shelf life and does not align with the current operating environment. I'd actually have to agree with that, especially with
right? I think a force multiplier, if someone initiated an attack on us, I think just like we did for the 9/11.
For 9/11, right?
We would come together. Okay. It would solidify us, bond us together. People would be freaking signing an enlistment right there and then. I think our force would bounce. I really do.
You're probably right. I think there's still a lot of patriotism out there.
No, I think so too.
But would it be too fast moving? Would it be an attack?
Too late?
And would we have 6 months to build up a force?
Yeah, that I don't know. I would like to think it would galvanize us and bring us together quick.
It feels like whatever happens, whether it be in Europe or whether it be in China, it's going to be quick. It's not going to be a long drawn out thing like Ukraine is right now.
No.
We're not going to be digging trenches. I think it's going to be like, hey, we're throwing everything at it. We're out of everything, nuke it.
Well, and there's the tactical nuke. I knew somebody was going to say it. It's going to be part of the game.
Especially, how backed into a corner will we be if we're that short of people? We come to a stalemate maybe on equipment. We can't raise an army anymore. I mean, how itchy is that nuke finger now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a tactical nuke. Just a little.
In this particular instance, I'm glad I'm 60. got 20 more years, man. I was good.
That's valid.
We're good.
The last sentence they have here is large-scale combat operations troop requirements may well require a reconceptualization of the 1970s and 1980s volunteer force and a move toward partial conscription.
Oh, there's the word.
Well, and now
how's that working out for Russia?
Yep.
How's that working out for Ukraine? They got the women. They got the women signing up now.
Yeah,
I'm going to
out
Mexico.
of necessity, right? But they got women signing and the kids.
You don't think Mexico's going to get conscripted? Like if that's the case, like you don't think they're not going to get involved? Like
they're busy running cartels and kids and drugs. They got no time for war. Right?
That's valid.
I mean, where are you going to find them? You can't call them. So.
Well, I mean, if we're at war, I mean, is our drug appetite going to fall? What are they going to do after that?
No, it's going to increase.
I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. You're fair.
There's a number of interesting questions, though, man, and there are no good answers right now.
Could they bring back the draft? I mean, aren't girls registering for selective service now? Didn't they pass that? I thought they passed it. Didn't they?
They should.
They were trying to push for it.
They should, but I don't think it ever happened.
I thought I'm curious because I thought
Yeah.
they were, maybe it got killed. Maybe that bill got
Yeah,
killed.
I think it got killed. It did.
But
It does make sense that they should. If you're going to allow them into combat now, right?
Mhm.
They can take a combat role. Why not? You're part of the game now. Let's make it equal.
yeah,
Yep.
but it's equal, but the reality is it's going to be quality. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
Whoa.
I hear trying
Already
to make
just
that
said all
point.
females are lower quality.
Don't do them like
Maybe-
that, Jake.
Marty, maybe your standards have isolated a certain group of females.
Marty, you have a phone call.
Just to the
on
low
number
quality
line
ones.
Yeah.
HR on line one. HR on
Yeah.
line one, Marty.
The
That
greatest thing
that HR
is-
person is highly motivated because they just got $980,000 as a bony.
Oh, they had to give it back, so now they're really pissed off. Oh,
What if they
so
already spent it?
that's a good point. Yeah. Well, we'll just write
Hardship
this one off, but
can't
don't do it
possibly-
again.
Hardship.
Don't do it again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think you could ring a draft. It would be interesting to see what happened. Would people rise up?
I would like to think they still would. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
I do.
Patriotism.
I do. I actually do.
You think?
Now-
I think I do too.
Will they be ready? No, I think that buildup is going to take a little while longer.
It's going to take
Right?
a while, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. It's a timing thing. But at the end of the day, our back against the wall, like, we're going to fight.
I think it reminds me of
We always have.
Homeland-
I think we
Homeland
still will,
Japan.
right?
Homeland Japan. We've got
Yeah.
most owned guns in the civilian populace than most countries. So all of us will stand up. We may not end up wearing a uniform, but especially if we're being invaded on some island or on the coast, we'll be standing up. I'm going to have my
You're
weapon.
talking like Red Dawn shit.
You damn right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Damn
as,
right.
as silly as Red Dawn is, it's like, well,
Hell
that's
yes.
going to happen. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll have some kind of freaking underground force.
They would never. That's why they could never take over the U.S. There's just no way. Are you talking about you're going to control all these cities?
Yeah.
There's no way, man. There ain't no way.
Was it Abe Lincoln that said the only way we get destroyed is from
From within.
from within, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because we got the ocean on each side, and there's no way they have enough people to come over. And there's too many angry Americans.
Armed Americans.
Yeah, right. Go try to take Elizabeth. That'll take you a fucking division to go take Elizabeth. Right? You got every farmer packing heat out there. There's no.
That's the reddest place in Colorado, man.
Yeah, right.
It's funny. Like, we talk about like Canadians, right? Weren't like absolutely instrumental in taking beaches for World War II? Like Canadians,
Yeah.
They had.
they will fuck around and find out with
Right.
Canada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had
Yeah.
an unheralded role on D-Day, and I can't remember what
Right.
beach it is, but
Sword.
yeah,
They had sword.
they took
Yeah.
a ton of casualties out there.
Yeah.
And they made it off of there too. Right.
So F around and find out with Canada too.
Yeah.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, there's hoping, right? Well, gentlemen, on that note, I think we are end up.
And we got to come up with a new one.
Yeah.
No way,
Something
man.
good for late for changeover.
End up is staying.
Chip
Oh,
change.
Chip
Yeah.
change.
No,
And
because there's
It's got to
nobody
be something
coming.
with a scope.
There's nobody
or a
coming
monitor.
on. So if we
Yeah.
were doing shift change and nobody's coming on, guess what? We're still on.
Hey, IT just
Late.
unplugged my scope, man.
yep.
I had tickets tonight. Son of a bitch. Which I've screwed both of these guys, so I'm sure. So. On behalf of all of us here, I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, subscribe. Let us know how we did in the comments. And make sure next week that you are... We should do this all together. Make sure next week that you are not late for
Late for
changeover.
changeover.
Man, thanks for the week, and I'll see you next week.